thousands left stranded at the Kotoka International Airport, and they are unable to watch the game between the Black Stars of Ghana and the USA in this year's World Cup in Brazil. We're going to bring you details of that here on today's big story.
Some of us are from far. Some of us don't live here in Accra. From far, they came here. But so now they say now we should go back to this stadium. But stadium, we know that's a trick. That they are doing. So no, we understand. But one thing I don't understand is that we used to pay our tax. We are taxpayers. So why like we want to go and support our nation?
My name is Prince Mink, and welcome to today's big story. Tonight we'll find out exactly what's going to become of the number of Black Star supporters who are left stranded at the Kotoka International Airport, and also what is the fate of the number of supporters who are already in Brazil as Ghana plays its first game in this year's World Cup. Well, earlier today, over 100 Ghanaians who are on government sponsorship to cheer the Black Stars of Ghana, the World Cup in Brazil, were left stranded at the Kotoka International Airport here in Accra. Or the supporters were expected to have been airlifted to Brazil to support Ghana in the ongoing World Cup. But the angry supporters who spent the night in the open at the Kotoka International Airport say they had to battle with mosquitoes throughout the night.
Have you been assured of leaving the country today?
Personally, I've been assured because I by the authorities that since I have my accreditations, maybe I may go. Maybe.
And from the look of things, to my side, I don't think there will be any good news. Yeah.
Why do you think there's not going to be any good news?
Because they said we should come today, we should come tomorrow, and I've been here since last week. Yeah, and yes, my name has not been mentioned, and I don't think my name is in it because I learned there have been one or two issues behind back doors. Yeah.
For all of us deserve to go.
Speaking to the former Adenta MP, Honorable Barima Osei Asare, he's a member. He's actually one of those who are helping organize and facilitate the airlifting process of the number of supporters who were left stranded early on today at the Kotoka International Airport. We'll also be joined in the studio by my colleague Matilda Womega, who was on this particular beat, and she's going to tell us exactly what was going through the minds of a number of these supporters that were left stranded. We have also gotten a hint of the situation with other supporters who are supposed to be cheering the Black Stars in Brazil, and what we know is that some of them are living in some conditions which they have described as deplorable, and they are unhappy with the state in which they are in Brazil. We'll be getting some answers shortly when we hit the phone lines and speak to Barima Osei, who's the former MP for Adenta and also one of the key members organizing or facilitating the process whereby a number of these supporters will be airlifted. But let me let you know that the leader of the Millennium Supporters Union also said authorities are working feverishly to enplane the stranded supporters. And according to him, 3 flights have already left for Brazil, saying the stranded supporters will soon join their colleagues there. And also we've been told that Buko Banku is a boxer here in Ghana. He is also one of the many who have been left stranded at the Kotoka International Airport, but information trickling in right now indicates that he has given up. He no longer wants to go to Brazil. What does this mean for the organizers? And also, what does this mean to government? And we also picked up information that the supporters said their expectations or their hopes were raised so high that they feel they've been let down. So what are organizers doing at this particular moment to ensure that these supporters who are bent on going into Brazil will be airlifted at least by close of day or perhaps tomorrow? We'll be finding out shortly here on today's big story. Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying on to today's big story here on Joy News on Multi TV. We can now speak to the former Education and Sports Minister, Obi Amwa, with regards to the fact that fears that many of government's sponsored Black Star supporters could be stranded in Brazil seem to be materializing, as we already know that hundreds of supporters, Black Star supporters, have been stranded at the Kodoka International Airport, and those already in Brazil are saying that the conditions in which they are in are not worth writing home about. Let's go over and speak to Obi Amwa, former sports minister. Good evening. Thank you very much for joining us on today's big story, Obi.
Good evening. It's the former deputy sports minister.
Very well. Thanks for that.
Education and Sports. Yes.
Thanks for the correction. Now, Honorable, going to the issue at hand right now, thousands of supporters who are supposed to be cheering the Black Stars on, at least by today or in the other games, are still stranded at the Kodoka International Airport. Is this the point where you would say, I told you so, government?
Well, thank you and good evening. Well, not really. I don't really know the arrangements which were made, except that we were informed some weeks back that probably the government will be able to send 500 fans to the games. As to how it's turned out this way, it's quite unfortunate, and I don't know the kind of planning that they did, but I don't expect the whole government to be arranging such a flight, and then we get bogged down with the excuses, and then I heard this afternoon that they said there was no money or the monies were not released on time. This is all lack of planning. It's unfortunate that some persons are stranded. Probably, if they know they will get stranded also in Brazil, they might as well let them go home instead of sending them all the way there to face difficulties.
But listening to a number of these supporters, they are bent on going to the end of the world to get into Brazil to support the Stars. Now, one point they raised earlier on was that they don't understand why actors and musicians will be sent to Brazil instead of them. Now, do they have a point there? And what would be your specific advice to organizers, to us aware, douse their expectations?
Well, as I said, this is a whole government arrangement. So the government should just decide what to do next. It's not just organizers. It's the government that is sending them to Brazil. As you said already, they've sent some persons there, including the ambassadors. But if for any reason they think that it will be difficult to send them, they should let them know. It's far better than keeping them stranded at the airport, not knowing when they will leave, before the difficulties and hardships at this time of the day. And they're expecting to play our first match July. I don't know how they're going to address this, but I think it's very unfortunate. And the best way is to let the rest stay and then find means of catering for those who are already there. I've seen some pictures, they are not the best. And I heard this afternoon by one of the organizers that the monies were not released on time and they had to make do with what they had. But it's not good enough.
But how easy would it be communicating to the supporters that, look, we couldn't do it for you, go home, you can watch the matches from your homes? How easy would that be?
Well, the difficulty is that probably they've even chartered flights and everything. So how come the flights are not in? How come the fans are not boarding their flights? Is it that they paid for the flights and the flights are not in? Or is it that they haven't paid at all? If they haven't taken that step, then the best way is to let them go home. But if indeed they've paid, and if they are sure that they will have the planes to send the fans, then they should have a deadline. They cannot stay at the airport forever. They should decide that come witness that was if not be able to make it, they might as well stay at home and then they look at the rest of the fans in Brazil.
But talk about
difficult terrain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk about the soccer fans. I was just going to say that how crucial is it for us to get them there? Because I'm already picking from the grounds that, look, the U.S. has a number of supporters who are going to be gunning for them later on this evening. And for Ghana, the number is not that much, though. But how crucial is it for us to get these people airlifted to cheer on the Black Stars?
Well, it's all planning, and I cannot pretend to have all the answers. But of course, when we played in Germany, it was in Europe. We sent only a few hundreds of supporters, but the whole of Europe, there are a lot of Ghanaians, and they all poured in for all our matches, and we had a full support. I don't know how they arranged to get Ghanaians outside Ghana, that is, those closer to Brazil, to also ensure that they go and support a team. If he is hoping to depend on only 500 supporters from Ghana to go and fill the stadium, and I'm afraid that purpose would have been defeated. So as to whether it's so crucial to get the work number is here to Brazil before we can get supporters to cheer our team, I don't think that's the point, because I'm sure some have even gotten there through their own means. I said that if we paid for those who are supposed to be airlifted, then we have to make sure we send them. By setting deadline, then we take a decision that they should stay home.
Now, talk about those who are already in Brazil, those that have been airlifted. We're also picking information that the conditions in which they live in as per some of the hostels or places where they are lodging, is not worth writing home. I'm going to have our director put that shot on TV now so viewers can see what we are talking about. But going forward, exactly what can organizers do to as it were, psych these supporters up who probably may be disappointed at this particular moment?
Well, if as ministry acting on behalf of government, you decide to send fans to cheer the stars, then you should make sure that at least they have the facilities. You don't send them there in the poorest of conditions. We get stranded, and then we hear all these excuses that money was not released on time, so we couldn't book for the best places, etc. I don't think it's good enough. As I said, it's all part of planning. And this, it's not only organizing. If it's travel and tours, I heard this afternoon that when it comes to accommodation, even those travel and tours companies are not involved. They're just assisting. So it means that a team was sent there, a committee was set up, a team was sent there to secure accommodation for fans. So how come they are staying in these deplorable conditions? It means that something went wrong somewhere. And the earlier we corrected it, the better. Of course, after all, we have a mission in Brazil. And they could have started the whole process. And I don't think we could have ended up in such a situation. Something really has gone wrong, and then people will have to answer for that.
Now, Ghanaian boxer Bukum Banku, he was bailed to get into Brazil latest by this night. Like many of the other supporters, he was also stranded. He said he's no longer going. He's going to go back home and forget about this trip. Now, what would you say to organizers that they should tell the supporters to go back home? Would that be a yes or a no?
Well, as I said, I don't know who's in charge now. I understand the ministers are in Brazil, but obviously there are some members of the committee who are still in Ghana. I heard
we'll be putting him on the line shortly. Yeah,
this afternoon talking about the arrangements and the fact that they couldn't get funding on time. But the impression is that once they are at the airport, that means they are expecting to be sent to Brazil. There's one of two things, either a commercial airline or a chartered flight. So what has happened to that flight? If it's a commercial airline, then they should expect the airline to come and airlift them. If it's chartered, well, obviously they would have paid some amount, and then they expect the flight owners to deliver.
Okay.
So as it is, as I told you, within a certain number of hours, if they are able to airlift them, they should just let them go home.
Very well. Thank you.
I mean, they can't stay at the airport forever. And the conditions at the airport, they are not, in those conditions, they are not meant to host thousands or hundreds of fans who are stranded. We should let them go home, and then, bad luck, they didn't plan well. Then next time, we plan better. They will be disappointed, of course, that after all the hype and the goodbyes to their family, they really ended up still staying in Ghana. But
very well.
They're all in Ghana, so we should take it as part of our plan and move on.
All right. Thank you very much for talking to us, Honorable Obi Amwa. He's a former deputy Education and Sports Minister, speaking to us here on today's Big Story. But let me quickly move to Matilda Womega. She's been on this beat all this while, and of course, she saw all the supporters and what they had to say, most of them virtually crying. What was running through your mind as you spoke to most of them?
I'm not so much into sports, but then I was like, what's the big deal? What's at stake? Because I know getting there does not even assure you of watching the match at the stadium. You need to go through a whole lot of process again to get there. If you have to go through all this process in order to get there, I don't think there is so much. Why should you worry yourself to go through all this? Because some of these self-acclaimed supporters, I should say, because according to this committee that I spoke to, who are organizing this Ghana-Brazil tournament thing, they tell me that some of these people are not supporters. They are just.
But what are they?
They don't know where they are coming from, because from them they gave a specific number to these supporters.
But is that the impression you get when you spoke to them? I mean,
when I spoke to them, they told me that they had paid so much to some of their leaders. As to who exactly they paid to, some of them were able to mention some names, but others tell me, oh, to this our leader in our area, if you want to go anywhere, we all go through him, and he has always been doing it for us. Today we've been calling him, his number is off. Many of them were really frustrated. And going through all this, I was told that some of these people actually you had to use middlemen, I should say. And some of these middlemen is what has resulted in many of them being stranded
at the Kutuka International Airport. Now you heard Obi Amwa, the former Deputy Education and Sports Minister, saying that, look, it's time organizers tell the supporters who are stranded to go home. Do you think they will be able to accept this if this is supposed to be the stance of the organizers?
I think eventually they would have to accept this, but this should take a lot of effort from the security, because what I saw earlier at the airport wasn't a good thing. Even me trying to get them to talk to me.
You're heckled. You're pushed and shoved away.
Exactly. So if these people have to be told to go home, they can't make it to Brazil, I think it will take a lot of effort from their security to make sure that these people indeed are calm. Else, many of them, I'm sure, they are going to take the law into their own hands.
And which of the organizers did you see, and what have they been telling you?
I spoke to Osei. I think he's called Osei something. He's a member of the committee. He told me that they are going with a specific number. That is, each supporters union, they give you, we are giving you 10 slots. 10 slots. So out of these 10 slots is what make up the total number, and these are the people we are going to Brazil with. But they don't know, for some strange reasons, people who are so desperate. Yeah, people are desperate to go to Brazil. Some of them had to pay some monies to some people, and this is what has resulted in many of them being stranded at the airport.
So we're hoping to bring Honorable Osei Asare into the conversation now,
exactly.
But you spoke to him as well. What has he been telling you?
Well, he told me they cannot be blamed for what is happening, because they are working with a particular number. They have airlifted about 400 already. They are about to take the last batch, and after that there will be nothing again, and no one should hold them responsible, because for them, they are going according to the list that they have. So it's a back and forth something. The supporters are saying this, the organizers too are saying this. We don't know, but I think these organizers need to come out clear with this, because some of these accusations leveled against them is not a good thing.
And finally, Bukom Banku, Ghanaian boxer, you spoke to his manager. Yeah. Did you see him as well?
I didn't see Bukom Banku and Ayite Powers, but I saw the manager who was at the sports stadium, and he told me, yes, Bukom Banku and Ayite Powers are supposed to be on.
Very well. Let me bring in Honorable Osei Asare. He just joined us on the line. Honorable Osei Asare is part of the organizers for airlifting a number of these supporters who are stranded at the Kutuka International Airport. Honorable, what's happening to the supporters now? Are you going to tell them to go home? Hello, Honorable Osei Asare.
Hello?
Yes, good evening. Welcome to today's big story. A lot of the supporters are stranded. They want to get into Brazil. What are you telling them now? Well, it appears we've lost him. We'll try and raise him back on the line and find out whether they're going to tell them to go home or perhaps they're making some arrangements for them. But back to Bukum Banku. You spoke to his manager. What did he tell you?
Well, he told me they are supposed to be on an official ticket from the former President, Jerry John Rawlings. He actually assured them of going, and they had gone through all the necessary process to enable his client and Haiti Powers go to Brazil. But for some reasons, he can't even explain. It looks like it's a battle.
Let's hold on to that explanation. Honorable Osei Asare is a former MP for Adenta. He's also part of the number of people sitting on this committee that's processing or facilitating the supporters to get into Brazil. Honorable, so what have you been telling the supporters? Okay, what I'm hearing is that he's in a meeting, but the line has dropped again. We'll try getting him back on the line, and then we can find out from him exactly what will be their final stance as per the fate of the supporters who are stranded at the Kotoka International Airport. But we're now talking about Bukum Banku. He's a Ghanaian boxer. He was also stranded, and his manager has been saying a few things to Matilda Omega, our reporter. But Honorable Osei Asare is back. Honorable, good evening. Welcome to today's big story.
Good evening.
So the Black Star supporters are stranded at the Kotoka International Airport. We saw those visuals earlier on. What have you been telling them? Are you going to let them go home, or they will still go to Brazil?
When you say Black Star supporters, I don't know which Ghanaian is not a Black Star supporter at this stage.
But those there obviously are Black Star supporters, aren't they?
No, the point I'm making here is that all of us are Black Star supporters.
Absolutely.
But we are all not good. We don't have to go to the airport and converge there and hope to go to Brazil. That is what is happening at the airport. Most of the people you find there don't really have any business doing at the airport.
You mean you don't know them?
We don't have any reason, or they don't have any reason to be at the airport, because we have been dealing with the supporters, various supporters unions as we have them. We shortlisted them sometime in April, and so we've been working with their leadership all this while. And as we speak now, we know we've dealt with the bigger chunk of the representation of the various supporters unions already. They are in Brazil. We only have a few more to add up with. Those left to be lifted are some of the sponsors that we had, the representative of the sponsors that we had, and the other ones we are expected to lift, and a few remnants of the supporters unions. So if you are seeing any high volumes of numbers at the airport, these are people who by themselves have gone to obtain visas without recourse to the Ministry of Youth and Sport.
But we spoke to some of them, and they told us that they went through some processes where they actually filled some forms aimed at getting them into Brazil. And you're not aware of this?
Your line is really bad, but if I can hear you, what you are saying is that some said they went through some processes.
Exactly.
The processes, some of them found their way there by themselves without, as I said, recourse to any lay down regulation that we had in place. So if they managed to go through those systems without any such mandate from us, it doesn't mean once they finish that process and they come to us, we should place them a space on the flight.
We're hard pressed with time. What are you going to tell them now? Are you going to let them go? Oh, we lost him. There you go. Some of them were obviously aliens. I mean, listening to Honorable Osei Asare, but you spoke to them. You were very close to them. Is that a point that comes across?
Looking at this whole situation, you can't really tell, because some of them were actually holding their passport with their visas others had just the accreditation, telling me they had paid a lot to get this. As in, who exactly they did all this through is what should be the question now. Who did these people go through? That should be the question we should be asking. And coming from him, the committee, if he is saying that indeed these people did not go through him, then I'm sure these people might have gone through some other persons who are not members of this committee that was set up by government to airlift supporters to Brazil.
Very well. Yeah. I'm going to have to thank you very much, Matilda Omega, but Bukom Banku is not going.
No, he said he is not going again. His manager confirmed that to me. Because of this back and forth thing, it started on Sunday, throughout to today, and they've been told to come tomorrow again. And Bukom Banku and Aite Powers, they are saying they are not going any longer.
Very well. Thanks a lot, Matilda Omega. She's our reporter, of course. She was on that particular beat, obviously telling us about what had transpired earlier on with regards to a number of Black Star supporters that were stranded at the Kotoka International Airport. Coming up shortly is Joy News Interactive, and we're going to talk about Black Stars versus the United States of America. My prediction, I'll tell you shortly. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. Time now for Joy News Interactive, and we're all getting ready, warmed up in the studio. Marian Therese here with...
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'm ready.
I'm good. And as you can see, we're getting ourselves...
To you?
Whoa.
Just...
There you go.
Hey.
Well,
I wish some American...
Looks like we're teasing them, huh? That's what they know. They know best, you know. We play with our thoughts.
And you guys, you play with your hands, and now you want to what? Come and tease us.
3-1 against you.
See how ready I am.
Yeah, I know.
I just need the cap, and then I'll be done. Tonight I'm going to put on the cap. It's just that when I wear it, you will see my face. So I decided, let me just spare them the face. But my eye red.
Absolutely. And town is awash with red, yellow, green, and a big black star.
But you won't believe that.
It's all over the place.
There's no traffic in town right now.
Wow.
From 4 p.m. I've been watching around, asked a few people, where are you? Any traffic? No, not at all. Everybody has cleared.
Wow.
And they're gone home to prepare themselves. At least it's a working day tomorrow. So the idea is that you go home early, take a real good
rest.
nap.
Yeah.
And then wake up, watch the match, scream your head off if you have to, sleep if you want to. Wake up the next morning and soldier on until our next match. So I am gearing up for it.
Okay. Since you didn't ask me of my prediction, I think it's going to be 3-1. So
it's going to be 3-1 to Ghana.
USA.
Okay. Yeah. And you're dollarizing it, or you're not part of the dollarization?
No, I'm not part of the I'm part of the cedilization.
Cedilization. I like that.
There you go, man. Over to you.
So wherever you are, welcome to your interactive show. My name, as always, is Marian Toure. Welcome to your show. We are back. We are fired, and I am even fired. If you had a thermometer to come and put it here and check, you know that my temperature is running above 200 degrees, if I can call it that, but not a sick kind of 200 degrees, an excited kind of 200 degrees. I am sizzling hot and waiting for the game tonight. We are all fired up. And and I know wherever you are fired up and you're waiting. But you see, the show is about you. It's about interactivity, about where you are and what you're thinking about what is trending on social media. So join us on facebook.com/joinnews on TV. Comment on every post we put there. We will amplify your voice by sharing what you are sharing with the rest of the world. And you can tweet us at joinnews on TV, at JN Interactive GH, and my personal handle at MN Ture. I'll be happy to retweet your thoughts and share what you're sharing with us with the rest of the world. Join us. I am at multitvworld.com. That remains our email address, and our WhatsApp number 054-010-9009. And JN Interactive, as always, is where technology meets news to set the agenda. So we're talking football. And 4 years ago, Africans rallied around one country in the World Cup knockout rounds. Despite hosting the tournament for the first time in the event's history, Africa continued to struggle in the group stage and only saw one manage a berth in the round of 16. And that nation was Ghana, and it carried the hopes of this continent. Despite falling short, the run was one of the most impressive in Africa's history at the world event. Ghana is arguably the best African side at this year's World Cup in Brazil. But the team is faced with a monumental group to overcome, and this is the USA, Portugal, and Germany. As the Black Stars come up against the Stars and Stripes of the USA, we are asking today, can Ghana make it a treble over the USA tonight? Bear in mind that both countries have different faces at the helm of affairs. Ghana has Kwesi Appiah and her gaffer, whilst USA have former German international Jurgen Klinsmann as their coach. Kwesi Appiah will seek to be the first local coach to have won a game at the Mundial with the senior national team. And Klinsmann has been told to win this game or face the wrath of the Americans. So, what will the players do to win this all-important game? The Ghana and USA team held a news conference this morning. Take a listen.
Very talented, skillful players, and we've got some players with pace. So, you know, as I said earlier, you always look at your opponent, you look at the players they've got, and then you think of, okay, let me start with these players because these are the weaknesses of my opponent, and you know, you use that to design the tactics that you're playing. But saying that, we normally combine both. Either we rely on counter-attacks or sometimes we go to run. Actually, before the balloting, you know, I made so many interviews saying that, you know, if you go into the World Cup and you are afraid to meet Brazil or Germany or, you know, the big teams, then it doesn't make sense taking part. You can as well say, oh, I've qualified, but we're not going. But once you go in, then you must be prepared to play any team that comes across. And the most important thing is making sure that you prepare very well so that any team that you play, who be, you know, you must make sure that, you know, you're prepared to face him.
In a similar situation as they look at the match against Ghana as a must-win, with the Germans and the Portuguese to follow. Conditions in the area have been poor as Natal has been pounded with heavy rain since before the opening game at the venue between Mexico and Cameroon, and it shows no signs of abating. But for USA coach Jurgen Klinsmann, his team will have to focus on playing in any conditions.
Now, if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's whatever, thunder and lightning or whatever, you know, this is about, you know, football where you play at any circumstances, you know, field wet, field dry, heat, humidity, whatever, you know, both teams are on the field and they will give their best. So we're not worried about that stuff at all.
The United States will be hoping to make it third time lucky against Ghana, the Africans having had the upper hand against the Americans in recent years. Team USA are aware that expectations back home are high for a good showing in Brazil.
Yep, and that is what they've all been saying. This is a crunch match for both of us. And I am praying, fingers crossed, that Ghana goes third time lucky and beat our U.S. counterparts. But you see, we have a lot of people here in Ghana. And my colleague, Gifty Ando-Appiah, actually caught up with the Ambassador Kretz, American ambassador to Ghana, to ask about what he thought, his prediction for tonight. Let's take a listen to him too.
with a very, very deep heart and a very sad countenance, I have to say that the United States will emerge victorious 3-2. May the best team win, and again, I hope that in the next World Cup, the United States and Ghana are able to be put in different groups so that we can meet in the final and have a real
Isn't he very humorous? Of course, he wants us to be in different groups so that we can play each other. And even if we play each other in different groups, I am sure that we'll still beat USA all over again. That was fantastic, absolutely. And Ifuakwa Harrison, who is with our team here, is actually in Brazil as we speak. And she has been catching up with the Ghanaian fans in Brazil to ask the expectation for tonight. Let's take a listen to them also. When we come back, I'll take some of your comments that have been trending on social media. I'd like to apologize. I think the sound there is very terrible. I would take some comments whilst we fix that and then bring it to you because it is exciting. You don't want to miss that sound. If you miss it, then you'd have missed the whole fun of it. So we're taking it off. I'll take some comments now. We'll repair that and then I would take it back. And the guys of the U.S. Fans in Brazil have also shared their expectations with us. And there are some really, really funny bits that I like for you to listen to. But let's take some comments now. And the Post just said that Ghana opens their World Cup campaign against the USA today. And we are asking, can Ghana make it a treble over the USA tonight? And Abuaje Frank Hartman starts. MT, absolutely yes. We shall surely overcome the Yankees today. Defeat na live, victory na sure. Go Ghana, go Black Stars, God bless our homeland Ghana. I like the ring of that. Christian Salvo, yeah. Marian, I think that by all means we will surely beat USA because we have met, we have what it takes to beat them, and this is not the first time we're meeting, so we know them very, very well. I hope you watch the match between Germany and Portugal. That's what I want our own Black Stars to do. Go Ghana, go Black Stars. Jacob just said, yep, he believes that we can do it again. Seydou Sunday Yakubu, big yes, we can do it. This reminds me of the Obama campaign, yes, we can. So this is our own Ghanaian campaign, yes, we can. Salim says, yes, why not? Newton Jefford, Marian, I said it before and I'm saying it today, that Ghana is going to win by 4-1. Go Black Stars, go Ghana. Majid Aoudi says, we hope so. But hey, the worst should be 1-0 against USA. Maria, Winneba Network is disturbing me, Papa. I hope Winneba Network actually comes back so you can stay tuned. Wisdom says, we're winning by 3-2 netting. Hey, this is your netting there. Lydia says, for sure. Abraham says, yeah, Ghana is winning. Kennedy Amwakun. Kennedy says, big no. Baba Musa Tamale, inshallah, Black Stars will beat USA because history is going to repeat itself tonight after 4 good years. Whether America likes it or not, inshallah, Ghana's worst performance will be a draw. Go Black Stars, go Ghana. And Ebenezer says, these days when the exchange rate is 2 Ghana cedis for $1, we used to win by 2-1. Now it's 5 Ghana cedis to 1. Really? The last I checked, it was 3. And it was the pound that was 5-1, or was it 4-1? So 5-1 scoreline. Okay, Belinda says, I'm very optimistic Ghana will make it double-double, but where do we watch the match when GTV has suddenly decided to bring disgrace upon Ghanaians by going off air? They haven't gone off air, but I keep my opinions about that to myself for now. Asana Ali says, I'll say yes, because we have all the skills, power, and winning mentality against them, but only with discipline. George says, yes, it's a done deal for Ghana. And perhaps I should pause here and take the ones that we have from Ghana. We've been out here in Accra to actually talk to all of you also about your expectations of the match today. Your expectations, the score line and all that. And so we'll do the Ghana one, and then when we're through, we'll go overseas and find out what the people in Brazil are saying about the match. So let's take this one.
Between Ghana and US, 2-0. Yeah, my prediction is 2-0. Come again against US. Against US. You mean the scoreless? I'm and then let's hope Kevin Prince Barton will also score one. Yeah, so let's pray. You know, I want the Samoa to start and then Kevin Prince Barton too. And then Ajman to also start. Right.
We should play a very good game and win. And it should be a comfortable win. I'm looking at we winning like 3-0. Asamoah. I'm looking at one of the Ayus. I think these two people should be able to give us 3 years.
Oh, from the defense line, I think John Boy, Harry Selafo, and then Jonathan. The midfield, Rabiu, Muntari. Yeah, then the flanks, Jordan Ayew, Dede Ayew, and then I think Asamoah and then Boateng.
I hope that Ghana Blaster will win today by 3 goals. Surely, I know the first goal will come from Dede Ayew. And second, the same Dede Ayew, and the third will be Asamoah.
Yeah, so that is what you have been saying. You're very, very optimistic about what is going to happen tonight. And I am over the moon. I am sure that tomorrow when I come and stand here, I'll probably be sweating with joy that Ghana actually made it. I was actually looking forward to the match being played like right now, so that we'll be going through it together and then be screaming and going, ooh, ah, yeah, together. But unfortunately, it's going to be played at 10 p.m. when we are all home. So you guys will see my reaction. If it were live, you will see me perhaps going through the roof and then coming back down. I am very passionate about soccer as football, if I can call it soccer too. So let's take some more comments whilst we wait to give you the visuals that have come in from Brazil, from both the U.S. and the Ghanaian camps. So we'll take some more comments here. And Nana says, Peter Kwakwa, all whatever you call yourself, can you go? I don't know. Why are you guys responding to each other? You should be talking to me. This is an interactive community, and I'm your team leader. So you don't talk to each other. You talk to me. Someone says something you don't like, don't mind them. Address me. Why? Don't worry. Yao says, I'm really disappointed at Multi-TV. Don't be disappointed. I explained it to you. There are rights issues. We haven't done anything. Don't do that. You're making me sad already. But I'm sure you can catch it up somewhere. Catch up somewhere, and then we'll make it up to you sometime. Why? Nana says, yes, we can. The scoreline would be 3-1 against the Americans. Aha! You sit at home and start saying 3-1 against the Americans. If Ambassador Kretz were going to sit down and then vet all of you who are going for US visas and say anyone who spoke against US, I won't give you a visa, I'm sure you would deny Ghana. You'll be Peter. Peter denied Jesus Christ, and you guys would have denied Ghana. Oh, no, America will have to win. But I'm sure some of you too will be so patriotic and say, hey, if I'm not going to get the visa, I'm still going to support Ghana. But that's not what it is today. It's patriotism at its best. And football unites all of us, irrespective of which of the device we belong to. Football is that uniting factor. And I love the way it brings us all together as Ghanaians. And this one is coming from Kofi. And he says the fact that the USA has been defeated twice in succession does not mean they will be easy opponents. Okay, you're warning us. If the Black Stars go into the game with such complacence, the least they will concede is 3 goals. This is a matter of pride and not of experience. Okay, so everybody has something at stake. It's not because you're more experienced than the other. Mark says Ghana is going to win massively by 3-1 against USA. Kwame says just substitute the figures of the cedi to the dollar just at last 4 years. Okay, nice. That's very, very nice. I'm hoping to, do some WhatsApps as well so that I can switch and do some of your WhatsApps now. And let's see what has been coming in. Okay, let me pause here, and our videos are ready. We will take reactions from both the Ghanaians in Brazil and Americans in Brazil, and when we come back, we'll complete by taking your WhatsApps. Don't go away, stay with us. Okay, I guess I should apologize for the terrible sound. We've got the feed coming in from Brazil, and it was, you couldn't hear it. But at least you got the sights and sounds that the Ghanaians are there. They're geared for the match. The guys from the USA are also there. They're geared from the match. And the information we're getting from the ground is that the US fans don't mind Ghana beating them because they know we are capable. But what they're saying is that should we beat them, we should try as much as possible to beat the other team so that the other teams can clear off. Then it will be Ghana, USA going through. So that is the plan. If we have a conspiracy, that is the theory, that Ghana, USA should go through in that. So we're going to beat them tonight and perhaps console them a bit by beating the others and then going in together. So it's going to be Ghana, USA going in. If it doesn't happen, please don't beat me. Don't hold me to it. Let's do some WhatsApps now. And this one is coming from Kweku from Koforidia. And you are saying, for Ghana to win this game, bring GTV back. Oh, really? Like what? Like you've done some medicine to hold it, that if it doesn't come back, it won't come. Don't say that. Be patriotic, and I'm sure that we're going to win. And this one says, Ghana 2, USA 0. Edem from Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Nice. This one is coming from Mudasir from Tamale. Ghana 2, USA 1, inshallah. Yes, inshallah. Fingers crossed. And you are saying Germany repeated their history against Portugal. So Ghana is going to do the same. History will repeat itself. Hallelujah to that. Ghana, the big keke. We are winning and we are going to beat USA 3-0. I couldn't agree more. I like that. I like the vimness that's coming from you. David, from Daniel Abuaji, go Ghana Black Stars for the ultimates. 3-0 to Ghana. And Anyobia, I'm not getting this. I think it's in Chi. But you're going to beat 3-0 by God's grace. Okay, we should do some more of your WhatsApps, and then we can wrap up together. One more. And this one says, Ghana the B kick, and the B has ease to it when it comes to football. But what are those at the Kotoka Airport still doing there? Marine, please tell them to go home and enjoy themselves. Okay, if you're still there and it's 8 p.m., you better find a giant screen and watch the game. It's not too late. They can go and support the Black Stars for their next matches. At least we have 2 in the group stages coming before we go to the round of 16. Go Black Stars, go, and our prayers and our support and everything with you tonight. Believe that you can do it, and I'm sure God would also, be on your side. That's why we drop the curtains for tonight. My partner in crime is back. Marian. Prophetess Ture in the house.
Thank you very much.
Hallelujah. Bless you, my brother.
It's obvious. Well, we can't wait to see the game.
I know.
And certainly we're all going to just pray and hope that the Black Stars of Ghana will sail through.
Yeah, I'm sure that they have prepared.
Yeah.
And so with our prayer backing and support, it would work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So that'll be it. More stories for you at 8 with Israel Lai. Certainly we'll be bringing you other angles with regards to how, the supporters of the Black Stars were stranded at the Kotoka International Airport. And also we'll be telling you a bit more about the fact that the basic education certificate examination started today. So more stories at 8 with Israel
Yes,
Lai.
and Joy News Exclusive comes up
Absolutely.
right after this. And as always, my name is Marian Toure.
And I am Prince Minka.
Have a good evening. Go Black Stars. Go.